One of the core beliefs of Team Tioga is you can't do it alone. And if we learned anything from Mr. Doherty, we learned the importance of partnerships and collaborations. We act as the catalyst and a resource to whatever entity it is out there, whether it's a for-profit, a not-for-profit, a municipality, whatever it may be. We are the hub or the resource for bringing these parties together. As a result of that, we've been able to bring forward many projects that, had we not had that relationship already in place, we wouldn't even known that they were trying to accomplish something. We wouldn't have known how can we help, what can we connect them with that might make that project come to be. And I think we have a great example of that in the village of Owego. Within a 4-block area, we can show many partnerships and collaborations, such as Owego Appalachian School District, partnering with the Hooker Foundation and the Land Bank for the school project of taking a house and having students rehab it.
We are currently working on a pretty innovative partnership with the Owego Appalachian School District. The Land Bank, we're going to be purchasing a single-family home in the village, and then the students are going to come in and fully renovate the house.
We talked to Team Tioga about the idea of working on a house several years ago, and then we're kind of able to make things work together so that we'd be able to rehab a house in town with our students. And we're working with Team Tioga with Owego Appalachian students with a funding source that came from the Floyd Hooker Foundation, from a Tioga County funding source. So it's all kind of homegrown to try to keep things here. And for our students, we're trying to teach them that the job opportunities can be here. The life can be here, that raising your family in a quiet, nice community, beautiful backdrop, all those things are here. Programs like this give them a home, not somewhere to live, but this is somewhere where they come and they feel comfortable and they show up. And so that home doesn't have to look like a classroom. It can look like a house that's getting remodeled on Liberty Street. So I think highlighting those things is pretty awesome when you can do it here. These kids it's a different level of scholar, one that has a little bit of dirt under the fingernails.
We can't do it on our own. It's not a one-woman show, it's not a one-agency show. We can't just sit on our own island and say, yes, I'm gonna go it alone and I'm gonna change the world, I'm gonna save Tioga County. It's this big group effort really to work towards that same goal of creating stronger Tioga County as a whole.
We've done a lot of work with Team Tioga. I mean, we've done everything from, we're working on creating a park down on the river on a closed off road in the village. But we don't have the access as a school to do it ourselves, right? The village doesn't have the oomph right now to do it themselves. But with the village, the school, and now Team Tioga working on it to get the grants, we figure if we can raise $20,000, we can build the plan. But we also have a wonderful trails and park system in our little village and surrounding community. So this is part of bringing them there, introducing them to the trail system, and then we have a wonderful park up in the Waverly Glen area, which ties into the Two Rivers State Park system. A lot of times schools stand by themselves, and most of my career that's the way it's been. The school stands here, the community's over here, county government's over here, but it's a silo. The school takes care of itself, and you have to figure it out. And that's not the way we're operating in Tioga County right now. And it's really unique that we're working with each other to get out of our silos. And that's small town America. I think we forgot about it sometimes, right? Like, instead of complaining about each other, because we're all different, there's things I don't like about things that happen in Tioga County, absolutely. And there's things they probably don't like about what happens in the village of Waverly. That's okay. We can have that discussion, and then we can move on and build stuff. Right? That's what it's all about. So, just get better.
There's so much that goes into this, and without Team Tioga, it would never happen. We're already seeing some transition. You've seen the Colburn Free Library and the transition there, and the beautification that's happened to something that's been around since I was a kid here going to the library. You look at the Main Street projects that Alan Briggs building and George Awad's building and the transition that happened there. I mean, if you look at before and after photos of both those properties, what a difference. It's like a billboard coming into town. You look at that now, I mean, you can see them popping, coming across the bridge. You know, bringing these row buildings back to life has been something that has become kind of a passion for me. We've done a number of projects, and whether it be Ike and Julie Lovelace throughout multiple properties in Owego, or Deb Twig in the Restore New York project, George Awad and Alan Briggs in Owego, Raleigh Philbin in Waverly. I mean, a lot of these buildings that these leaders throughout the community have brought back to life, I mean, it's a ride every time. All these row buildings tell a story longer than any of us have been around here, and it's great for people to have that local interest, have that passion, and tell that story.
Not many people can say that they've lived in a 1860s saddle shop or turned it into a modern loft. And that's what we decided to do here. You know, take something that was falling apart and rebuild it and hopefully preserve it for generations to come. You know, me personally and at the town level, we've had nothing but good things to say about the opportunities to work with Team Tioga. You know, firsthand you can drive down the street and see the impacts that Team Tioga has had on the community. The Village of Waverly is looking towards the future, and they want people to invest. And when people invest, everything rises to the top.
One thing that makes me extremely excited for the future is the possibility of remote work transforming rural areas like Candor. There is a lot of opportunity to go, whether you're working remotely or not, and live in a small town, something that when I brought my in-laws from Brazil, they said it's like the movies, which I never considered. I never thought Candor was, you know, picturesque, but it is. It really is. When you look at it with a fresh perspective, this county is gorgeous. I think that if more young people like me can recognize the value of living here and we just do it, it'll happen. Just, you have to have some brave people willing to take that first initial step, that first investment, and it often does come from people who live here, and I'm so excited to see where it goes.
I love it here. I love it here. And to be able to drive around the county and see housing, 93 new units over on the south side in Owego, or to see a wonderful mural project in the Village of Waverly, but to drive around the county and see what we're able to help bring together is immensely satisfying. I would just like to say thank you to not only Team Tioga, but to all of our partners, everybody that we have worked with over the years. There's so much good out there that we need to recognize that and acknowledge it and keep doing more.